Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to say might shock you. I am from Great Britain.
Yeah, I'm British. That's it. I mean, there's really nothing I can do about it.
Do you know what we call Thanksgiving in Britain? Thanksgiving?
Obviously, we have a lot of British people who work here. The British feeling of the show definitely infused into the Americanized late-night television show.
Come on, Philip. Let's go and teach these ghastly ruffians manners.
I think we're lucky because we've got such a good mix of American sense of humour here and British sense of humour. We want to be warm, we want to be funny, and we want to be silly.
Say, oh, thank you for helping me get to work, and you say, off.
So all of those things, whether it's Monty Python or The Office, they're all things that kind of influence our comedy and hopefully gives us quite a broad appeal.
The global nature of this show has been very beautiful, and it is a very British show in America. There's no doubt about it. James is who James is.
James, we've got Carpool Karaoke.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do English tea on the 405.
English tea on the 405.
But of course we've had to adapt. Of course I've had to remember to say elevator and trunk and soccer, even though, you know, it kills me a little bit inside.
I now know more names of British football teams than I ever thought I would.
Let's see what we got.
The amount of football conversations that happen on this show, I don't know anything about football.
We've messed up many times by scheduling field shoots or sketches when West Ham's playing.
The way it works here, because we're 8 hours behind England, it means that matches are on in the middle of a day. So often we'll stop production or stop meetings to sit and watch West Ham or Arsenal for 2 hours.
So it complicates our shoots a little bit.
One of the things that was great for James, really playing up that sort of stranger in a strange land, we get to watch him learn LA together. And I think that sometimes can be a conduit for the viewers too.
I gotta hand it to James as a British person hosting a show in America. The number of actors he needs to know about that were never part of his life is remarkable.
Hey, what's your name?
Chris. Chris, you're going to have to be a lot more specific.
He got to come about comedy and how to do the show from a different point of view. And I think that's always helpful for starting a new show and making it feel different and fresh.
I'm also lucky enough to have both of my parents with me here tonight.
I love the fact that James is able to bring his parents into the show and into the comedy of the show.
My dad comes down for breakfast wearing a T-shirt that just says, with a body this good, who needs hair?
It's lovely to see his parents and remind you that he's, you know, a kid from High Wycombe.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the trip. I really appreciate it, for everything.
But Margaret and Malcolm have just become a huge part on the show just because they're really funny.
Come on, hurry up!
I want one of these in the bedroom.
They have this endless joy and delight, whether they're at the Super Bowl or a haunted house, whether they're at a gig or whether they're in our studio. Whatever it is, they're quick, they're funny, they're sharp, but they're also just the most lovable, wonderful people.
You're gonna want me again?
One of the real highlights
was going in the changing room.
In the changing rooms.
I had to cover my eyes. It was too much for me. I wasn't used to it.
We put a towel on. I'm sorry.
I'm not used to such specimens of men.
If there's one rule in television, Margaret's laugh will save any piece. Once she starts laughing, it does not matter what else is happening. You're gonna have a pretty good piece on your hands.
Little did we know then that it would take us further afield.
Finish. Yeah! They threw me down there.
However devastated anyone who works on the Late Late Show may be that the show is ending, no one is more devastated than Malcolm and Margaret.
You put her down, Michael. No! Stop, no!
Anytime James's dad gets to play in the band, that's always fun.
On the saxophone, my dad, Mr. Malcolm Corden, is here.
I'll always be in my memory that I mixed with those wonderful people who are so talented and gifted.
Are you Ginger Spice?
I am.
Oh man, those trips when we've taken the show to London are just great. It's just been brilliant.
That's you, Reg. All right, let's do it. Here we go. London, baby. All right. London!
Just great. And mostly I've loved it just for the team and the gang and the spirit of it.
Taking the show home to England every year has been one of the most beautiful experiences of this entire show.
To go back to London and kind of, in a way, show off what we do there and bring our friends and family along is really special to us. So to be able to bring them to our show and say, look, this is what we do in Los Angeles. Look at it, isn't it fun and isn't it, aren't we lucky to do it?
What are you doing here? You come all the way to London?
When we first announced it, I think that we had 1,200 tickets for over 4 shows, and we got 1 million requests.
It's just such a sense of pride for me to bring this big show back.
I mean, I think there's huge challenges bringing a show overseas in every single way.
Turning a Methodist church into a TV studio was a pain in the ass.
London was hard. London is hard. It was really hard. We just need the biggest stars, the biggest shows, the biggest music performances, the biggest bits, and there's just a lot of pressure, yeah.
It's madness, absolute madness.
It is all happening in this studio. We got some work to do, but it starts tonight.
I think the camaraderie was kind of like incredible there. Some of the biggest comedy pieces we've ever done in the history of the show happened during those weeks. And everybody wants to do their best in a week like that.
London, we just throw everything against the wall. So a lot of it was hard, but 100% worthwhile.
The team really wanted to do a crosswalk in London, and Sir Ben Kingsley was going to be there. He agreed to it, you know, crosswalk, Mary Poppins, but I don't think he fully knew what he was getting into.
Let's go and fly a kite.
My favourite London memory, I think, oddly, was going to Paris.
Bonjour, bonjour, la attention.
Doing Les Miserables in Paris was, I think, the culmination of that bit. It is so perfect.
Cast, do you mind? We're doing a show! We're doing a show!
One of my favourite sketches that I think we ever did was shot in London, and that was Tom's Cruise. It was called Tom's Cruise on the River James Corden, or Thames Corden.
It's Tom's Cruise.
A cruise on the River Thames?
On the River Thames Corden.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, the title, but it was a great sketch. And the idea that we were in London on a boat with Tom, and he's pouring cocktail drinks into Ian Carmel's mouth. I think that's probably one of the highlights of my entire time doing The Late Late Show, let alone being in London.
There's no Maverick without Goose. That's right.
The coolest thing that happened in London was getting to see Paul McCartney Carpool Karaoke with 1,000 other people.
Being in the room at Central Hall, Westminster, watching that audience watch Paul McCartney's Carpool for the first time was incredible.
I think that's going to be one of those lasting memories for everybody.
It's just been a really beautiful thing to do, and we all felt very emotional that last night of the last London shows, with everybody singing and everyone together doing an American show in London. There was something so poetic and beautiful about it.
So those trips back to London were always really, really special.
It's just been great. It's been magic. I've just loved it.
It's time. We're taking off. Reggie, take me home! Yeah! Woo!
Sometime it get your money stuff.